Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're looking at the PD35R from Fenix. I want to let you know the PD35TAC was one of my favorite lights when I first started reviewing gear about a decade ago. So I've always been inclined toward this size flashlight for everyday carry. For me, the size is just right. Some people think that's a little bit too big. They want something smaller or maybe with a not as wide a diameter, but for me this is a great size and it offers a lot of different functionality. The PD35TAC was a great light and still is a great light. It offers a lot of different functions and you got to learn the system if you're going to use this thing well. So with that said, this one it's like kind of an updated and a slightly different version of it. So it's the PD35R, and some of the things that stand out right off the bat, you've got two pressure switches on the bottom, which I'm a big fan of the pressure switch on the bottom as opposed to on the side. That's just my preference. I don't hate it if there's a selector switch on the side or a pressure switch on the side, but that's my preference. Secondly, I'll show you this right here, which is your recharging port. And you can see that is a USB-C, which is great. It's not a proprietary plug. It's also not micro USB. More and more companies are going to USB-C. I think that's awesome. The third thing for me is that while it does have almost an inch that's sticking out here, that to me, I like a low profile, I like it down deep in my pocket when I have it, carrying it in my front right or left pocket, I guess it is. But for this size flashlight, I like this because it's easy to get some purchase on it and take it out quickly. So this for me is really like a prime size or a ideal size for an EDC light. While I use them all across the size spectrum, this is definitely one that I really prefer. So let me give you some of the details on what you get with it and about the light. Then we'll take it out into the night and use it. All right, so there's the box that it comes in. Fenix does a good job with their marketing. It's a cool looking box. And then on the side, you do have a bunch of information as well as on the back. This side just has the graphics, but on the back, they do tell you your output, your runtime, your distance, your intensity, your impact resistance, and that it is submersible. So that's good information. You don't have to dig around on the internet a ton. If you're picking this up in a store, you can just pick up the box, look at it and go, okay, here's how it works. So let me give you some of those details real quick. So you have an Eco, which is 10 lumens. That's going to run for 100 hours. Your low is 50 lumens for 38 hours. Medium is 350 lumens for 4 hours, 45 minutes. High is 1,000 lumens for 2 hours, 55 minutes. And your turbo is 1,700 lumens for 2 hours and 15 minutes. It is impact resistant to 1 meter and IP68 rated. As far as your size, you're looking at 5.35 inches by 1 inch by 0.91 inches, which is 136 by 25.4 by 23.2 millimeters. The weight is 4.9 ounces or 140 grams, including the battery. I love the fact that they include the weight with the battery. When companies don't tell me what the weight is with the battery, I'm like, who's going to use a flashlight without a battery? That's pointless. So with that said, let's open this thing up. It does come with that little protective plastic piece to basically keep the connection from happening so it doesn't turn on during transport. You do get a 3,400 milliamp hour 18650 3.6 volt battery. That's what that looks like. Positive end goes down. You got the flat end there. It is, I will show you real quick. You do have a little bit of a nub there. So sometimes these 18650 batteries are really smooth. So you have a little bit of nub there. Close it down in. Pressure switch here on the top. So I'm just going to press it on to show you that it actually works. With the pocket clip, it doesn't have the switch back like some do, so you can't put it on a hat brim. I'd like that as an additional feature. I do find sometimes it gets hung up on stuff if you have the switch back. But if they could add that in another version of this, that would be great. Or if you could upgrade that, I think that would be really good as well. As far as what you get with the light, it comes in this little set of packaging here. So you do get a sheath. I'll show you what it looks like in there. You do get a little bit of advertising and some information about Fenix flashlights. You get your warranty card there. You also get your instruction manual for the PD35R, and you'll see that it opens up to quite a large size. So a lot of information there for you. My guess is, as I look at it, yeah, it looks like multiple languages. So they do give you some basic information right there on your burn time and on the, not on your burn time, yeah, on your burn time, your outputs, size of the light, and then the different switches and features. You also get a little bag here that's got some extra O-rings and a lanyard as well. So there's that. And then obviously there's your light. Let's put the light in the sheath here so you can see what that actually looks like. Hook and loop, as you just heard. Slide this down in. Close it up. Nice hook and loop. It actually feels nicer than some of the other sheaths I've seen out there. It does have a loop that's stitched in, so you can't un-Velcro it and Velcro it back on. A little pull tab there if you want to use that to pull it, but to move it or, adjust it. And then also you could put paracord through that as well. I would say it's pretty solid as far as your construction. It's not amazing. There's no like rubber end there, which sometimes is nice, but I generally am not a sheath guy when it comes to lights. So not a huge deal for me. So with that as the rundown, let me just show you the functionality. Okay, so you're going to pressure switch. It comes on, and then you've got your other switch here, which is your selector. So you're at your eco setting, and then to low, medium, high, and then turbo, and then back down to the bottom. When it's off and you hit that selector switch, it's going to go right to strobe. So heads up on the strobe here. Here it comes. There's your strobe feature. The strobe is 1700 lumens, so that's quite a bit of output, and it is going to be disorienting. Again, strobe feature, just so you can see what it looks like a little bit further back. So strobe warning. So I like to have in an EDC light the strobe feature as well. I also like the fact that you don't have to cycle up and then hit strobe and then go back down to the bottom. It just skips strobe unless you press that switch. Another feature to show you here is, let's go, it's up to, there we go, eco, low, medium, high, turbo. So let's go eco, low. It's on low now. I turn it off. Even if we wait for a little bit, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, it has that memory feature. So when I click it on, it's going to come back on at that setting here. So it's not going to reset to the eco or the lowest or the highest setting. It'll stay where you put it on. So that's low. So then we got medium, high, turbo, and then back to your eco again, right? So that's the functionality of the light. I will tell you that for some people, just immediately as soon as I pick it up, I'm like, that's going to be too much weight for some folks. But I think it's solid. I really like that. Like I said, it's 4.9 ounces. So it's not terribly heavy. But let me see, what other lights do I have around here? I've got an O light. This is a Baton 2, I think. O light, yeah, this is a Baton 2, I think, right? So a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact. But this one, again, with that end pressure switch and the selector there, I love that. I think that's a great option. I think I've got an Olight. There's an Olight Arcfeld. Take this one out. So definitely a different profile from this one, smaller. This one's got a little bit different functionality, but you get that pressure switch on the side versus pressure switch on the bottom. I just find that to be more intuitive to use a flashlight like that. So Fenix PD35R, that's what we're, some of the rundown here in the studio. Let's take it out to the night and use it.
All right, guys, we're outside. We're going to test out the PD35R. Here's your moonlight setting. You can see it on the ground in front of me. And this new house that's moving in, or that's built, I should say, somebody's going to be moving in there sometime soon. It's from about 45, 50 feet away. So this is at the low setting, or the firefly setting. So you can still see quite well. This thing throws nicely. Let's go up to 50 here. There's 50. So again, no worries because no one's living there right now, but you can definitely see the entire house. It is a pretty tight beam. I can see what I'm shining here at the corner. I can see sort of toward the end there and mostly over to the door there, but definitely a pretty tight beam there. Hotter center. It does have some spill out from the center, but definitely the brightest part is in the middle there. So there's your low setting. All right, let's go up to 350 here. So here's 350. Definitely a significant bump there. We'll go off into the woods. And we have 1,000 lumens. So a lot of punch in that light. And then here's turbo 1700. Definitely see a bump from the 1,000 to 1700, but not a huge difference. So there's a quick look. Obviously the house is white, so it's going to reflect light back nicely, all the way back down to your firefly setting. All right, let's take a look out into the yard now. All right, so looking out into the yard here, again, it's your firefly. Once it gets beyond about, there in the yard, can't really see a whole lot out. I can sort of see out into the yard. I'm looking at the stone wall, but not great. So let's go up to 50 here. Here's your low setting. As you can see, even on camera, it's a pretty tight beam. There is more spill than you can see on camera, but definitely, again, the center is the hottest. So that's 50, here's 350. So at that point, you can definitely see a lot more of the yard. As I'm shining it there, I can see all the way over to that tree and over to the edge of the that reflective sign there in the woods for conservation area. So there's 350. Let's go to 1,000. You can actually see the center beam, and now you can see the flood out from there, the ring. So I just zoomed it out so you can see what that looks like. You can definitely see the ring. Got that center. And then the rest of the ring. So when I'm shining here, I can see pretty much, you know, the entire yard when I'm shining right in the middle there. Let's go up to 1,700. Just to zoom in here. And then we're going to show you strobe here. So strobe warning. And as you saw there, it's got two different kind of speeds of the strobe, which is really nice.
All right, guys, as I wrap up here, I'm basically going to talk about two different Fenix lights. So I've been looking at the PD35R and then the TK20R as well. So these two lights. So if you watch this video or this video, it's going to be the same ending because I want to compare them a little bit, right? First off, price point, you're looking at maybe up to 120 bucks, depending on where you get it. Looks like the range was about 107 up to about 120. For the PD35R, you're looking closer to the $90 range. So right off the bat, cheaper, more expensive. Right off the bat, fewer lumens, more lumens. You can see size-wise, this one is EDC friendly, I would say. This one, not so much EDC friendly, unless you carry it in the sheath on your belt. I'm not a sheath guy, that's not my jam. So, you know, a flashlight like this has to be able to fit into my jeans pocket. This one will do that. This one is just too large. It does have a pocket clip, but, you know, that's just a really wide bezel there. And if I were to carry this, I would carry it in the sheath, or if I was going to use the clip, I would put it, you know, on a vest or something like that. So as far as carrying capacity, this one, I think for everyday carry, too big. This one, much more doable. So I think both of these could be used as emergency lights for, you know, a kit, for the house, whatever it is. This one to me seems to have more overall functionality for something to keep in your car, in a kit, in a bag, all those different types of things. This one can certainly be used that way. It's smaller, it's lightweight. I don't think I showed the battery in the in this larger one, the TK20. This is not an 18650, it's a 21700, so it's a bigger battery. Definitely got a little bit more heft. It's got, I think the milliamp hours, 5,000. So not twice what the PD35R has, but definitely more, notably more. So yeah, I mean, I think EDC, kit, or bag. Now, something I like about both these lights is your interface on the end there. You've got the pressure switch and then the selector switch all in the back there. I like the fact you can hold down on the selector switch and go right to strobe on either light. So a strobe warning, there's your PD35R, there's your TK20. That's nice, you can go right into it. And I do like the fact you can go all the way from that really low setting all the way to the high setting, and you don't have to press anything special to get to that moonlight setting. So I think that's nice. Price point, I feel like it's very fair for these lights. Functionality, they both work well. They're both USB-C rechargeable. Reminder, that's the one for your PD35R, and then for the, untwist it here, there we go. For the TK20R, there's your USB-C. USB-C. So nice that you can charge them up, but that's not a built-in battery. You can actually take the battery out, replace it if at some point it dies. So, I think they have different functionality, but I think they're both good lights, reasonably priced. Fenix makes a good product. I've got one of their headlamps as a headlamp for me that I keep in my nightstand. I've got two of their different headlamps for different outdoor kits. So clearly I like them. I've said this before, I like the PD35RTAC. I used that for quite a while as an EDC, and this is just a little bit smaller version. So I think this will be a nice EDC light as well. So I'm a fan of Fenix. I like what they're doing. I do think they make a good product. I've had good experience with them. Let's hear your thoughts with Fenix, and also particularly on these two lights. What do you think? I'll put links down below in the description section if you want to pick these up online. And let's get the discussion started on these two lights from Fenix down in the comment section now. All right, guys, thanks as always for checking out the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.